month of the hearing of the 54th National Legislature. One of the items creating the GSA. The GSA is to conduct audits of government agencies and institutions and submit its findings to the legislature. At the level of legislature, we work through specialized committees. Our committee, the Public Accounts and Audit Committee, is charged with the responsibility of exercising oversight over the GSA and also scrutinizing audit reports and making submission of those recommendations to plenary for deliberations and subsequent decisions that are to be forwarded to the President for action. In light of our responsibility, we are here today to do public hearing on some of the audits. We are here today to scrutinize some of the other reports, specifically those that have to do with NOCAL, NET, and Ministry of Youth and Sports. As part of our responsibilities, we jointly review the findings and recommendations of the Auditor General as submitted to the legislature. These review exercises will provide you an opportunity to address some of the key issues raised by the auditor. And it's intended for you to have a second chance. Maybe some of the issues raised by the Auditor General in his findings to be addressed by you, or if not addressed by you, we will be able to validate them and subsequently submit our reports to our respective plenaries for decisions and all submission of our decisions to the President for action. These other report scrutiny processes are also intended to give a hint those public officials that are caught in corrupt acts. And that's why it's important when you come here, you come very prepared. Because if you are accused of corrupt acts and you cannot vindicate yourself, you cannot validate your position, you cannot provide sufficient documentations to vindicate yourself, then it means that the findings of the Auditor General will be held as they are submitted and then forwarded to our plenaries for decision making and subsequent submission to the President. So as you have come, we want to encourage you to feel free to interact with us. We are not in a cold room. Feel free. We're going to have time to interact. The issues that are raised, you can address them. The GSB is represented here. They're going to give us preliminary briefings on their recommendations. And then you will have an opportunity to make statements and then clarify the issues raised by the meeting. So again, we'd like to say thank you for being here. And we hope that this hearing will produce the desired result. Thank you as we all work together in the interest of our country and our people.
Members of the GSC President, members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm pleased to be here today to represent the National Oil Company of Liberia at this public hearing, and also want to express my sincere apology for the inability of Anthony Safwa Megwe, who had to travel to Nigeria on behalf of the government of Liberia to sign the memorandum of understanding for the construction of the pipeline agreement in Nigeria, which is to benefit the sub-region and the people of Liberia. I have on my team this morning Rishma Jala, Financial Controller, Councillor Ijera Bashu, General Counsel. We are very humbled to be here and pray that this interaction will be informative and also to clarify issues as it relates to the audit of the fiscal year July 1, 2028 through June 30th, 2020. We are very delighted by this invitation from you, Honorable Chairman, and pray that this interaction will give clarity on issues and also to give insights of where NOCAL is as it relates to this audit. We want to thank you for your service to the country and to the people of Liberia, and we remain humble, and we are very, very delighted to be here, and it is our hope that after a year, there will be more clarity and also put to rest some of the audit issues as it relates to this audit. So we are very thankful, and we want to thank you, Honorable Chairman, for the invitation given to the National Oil Company of Liberia. Thank you.
Was to compile a list of findings over the periods mentioned by the committee. So, not wasting much of the time, let's go directly into our findings. The first finding has to do with irregularities associated with Social Security contribution. As you all know, we should be paying 10% of our gross salary to the National Social Security, and we're withheld from the employees. What we realized was that for the year 2018, we had an understatement of $15,416.24. For 2029, we had 17 efficient. And secondly, it leads to penalties as well as fines for not fully complying with the Revenue Code of Liberia. Our next finding has to do with transactions without supporting documents. Let me just state that normally across the various entities we audit, we've come across this case and it's pervasive. And what we've realized is that when these transactions occur, they are not found appropriately or timely, and sometimes too, they are not done electronically. So at the time of audit, when we come in, we do not see these documents. Having said that, as a caveat, for the year 2018-2019, we had $1,550, which we didn't have supporting documents for. And then 2019-2020, we had $12,594. Now, to be able to establish the legitimacy of this transaction is a challenge. And so we are encouraging the management of NOCAL and all other entities that when these transactions are done, that they are filed electronically as we demonstrated them with the pictorial. The next finding, it has to do with a non-disclosure of lease rental. Per the financial reporting standards, IFRS, which NOCAL is a state-owned enterprise and should be fully compliant with, we realized that they have a lease liability and a lease asset or right of use, which was not placed on the books. And so it has to do with the rental of the property when it's currently occupied for office or operational purposes. So So we're saying that they are not fully complying with IRS 16 because they are not recognizing the right of use as well as the lease liability. And we are encouraging management that they should fully comply with this. Since this is relatively new, sometimes there are challenges, but we believe going forward these issues can be resolved. Overstatement of salary expenses. So from our recomputation, we saw that for the year 2018-2019, we had 815,015.30, but then in the ledger we had 859,000, which resulted in a variance of $43,991.33. For 2018, similar case, we had a variance of $58,616. We advise management to adjust the financial statements and the now, unsupported adjustments to net salary. Unsupported adjustment to net salary. So we couldn't have adequate supporting documents for this. And the total variance for 2018 came out to $16,966.38. In 2019, we had $11,167.02. Prior period adjustments. Now, per the standard, when we have prior period adjustments, we should have support for those adjustments. However, these documents were not provided to us by NOCAL, and the total amount in that relates to $107,697.10. The audit committee, per corporate governance code, it is important you have an audit committee. They will be able to look at the reliability of the financial statements. They will be able to see whether you are complying with laws and regulations. And also, they will be able to ensure that all the recommendations are probably a conduit whereby external auditors and internal auditors can have a chat with top management, meaning those responsible for strategic direction. So we saw that even though they have a board, there's no subcommittee for audit purpose. And we decided to highlight that because having that committee will be beneficial to the entity. Okay. Having said that, I will just leave the rest to the committee members for cross-examination. So, Honorable Chair and members, thank you very much for the opportunity.
When we took over NOCAL, the latter part of 2018, we inherited an organization that was in bankruptcy. We were having financial challenges. Our liabilities that we inherited was close to over $5.3 million. An institution with that financial challenge, we had serious financial challenges, and we did not have the money to remit to NOCAL at the time. But what was good for NOCAL was that we acknowledged it, we accrued that, and we wrote a series of letters to NOCAL informing them of our liabilities, and we have started making payments for all the NOCAL every year. We're able to write NOCAL, and we had a meeting, and we have a subsequent meeting, but as we speak, if you look at the appendix to the documentations that was supplied to you, Honorable Senators, we have started making share payment. And the administration at NOCAL is committed to clearing up its liability to the National Social Security.
Tax. The best calculator. No, it's a non-related NASCO tax, non-related. Then you also have non-related of employees withholding tax. So those are two taxes you need to pay, both to NASCO and to the Revenue Authority, the Revenue Authority. I'd like to know from you, what is the situation right now? Firstly, in such a situation, meaning there was arrears. You inherited arrears that you had to pay. What has been the situation since you took over? And you gave us a financial picture in terms of meeting your payroll and at the same time making these remittances to NASCO and then the Revenue Authority.
And we're able to pay.
The question, why is the financial picture, why is the picture right now? Why is the situation right now?
The financial picture at NOCAL right now is that things are improving at NOCAL, and we are making frantic efforts to meeting of our liabilities to the government of Liberia and also to NASCO. If you see in the appendix, we have
not go to appendix, I just want to find out something. So I'd like to know, I will go to specific details at NOCAL as you speak. All PAC detail.
$53,000.
No, you see, that's where the problem comes from. So Monday, yes,
That's-
listen. Then it means that every month you only look for net pay 53K. That's what you fight for. Your focus is 50. So that would suggest to me that you are not fully meeting your monthly payroll. If you are fully meeting your monthly payroll, you should be talking about a gross. Why is it gross?
So that game was
So I'd like to know why is it gross. Don't take me to
okay. So the total cost to company, inclusive of Social Security, withholding tax, would be in the amount of $70,000.
70K plus payroll money. What's the current budget?
Our annual budget sits around $2 million.
So how do you raise this money?
So
How do you raise this money?
our major revenue source is national company, the sales of seismic data, which are major challenges based on the industry challenge. So resources come to look at through the sales of seismic. Seismic data is what international company buy that informs them whether oil is currently in Liberia. So our revenue is actually raised from the sales of seismic data.
and we're able to pay.
The question, why is the financial picture, why is the picture right now? Why is the situation right now?
The financial picture at NOCAL right now is that things are improving at NOCAL, and we are making frantic efforts to meeting of our liabilities to the government of Liberia and also to NASCO. If you see in the appendix, we have
not go to appendix, I just want to find out something. So I'd like to know, I will go to specific details at NOCAL as you speak. All PAC detail.
$53,000.
No, you see, that's where the problem comes from. So Monday, yes, listen. Then it means that every month you only look for net pay 53K. That's what you fight for. Your focus is 50. So that would suggest to me that you are not fully meeting your monthly payroll. If you are fully meeting your monthly payroll, you should be talking about a gross. Why is it gross?
So that game was
So I'd like to know why is it gross. Don't take me to
okay. So the total cost to company, inclusive of Social Security, withholding tax, would be in the amount of $70,000.
70K plus payroll money. What's the current budget?
Our annual budget sits around $2 million.
So how do you raise this money?
So
How do you raise this money?
our major revenue source is national company, the sales of seismic data, which are major challenges based on the industry challenge. So, resources come to NOCAL through the sales of seismic. The seismic data is what international company buy that informs them whether oil is currently in Liberia. So our revenue is actually raised from the sales of seismic data.
Balance of $2 million.
$2 million.
So you didn't raise anything?
No.
Already.
Yeah. So progressively, I
So
think
being that you had your budget funded for 2018.
that's correct.
$2 million.
That's correct.
Did you pay, did you make your religious statement to the government and to the revenue authority in 2018?
Some payments will be made, yes.
What do you want from?
Okay, so there was the opening balances, opening tax liability on the balance sheet. So we talked about even though our cash balance $2 million, there was still opening balances. So what we did was we started to make some payments against the opening balances, and we're currently making monthly payments.
So what was the amount on the obligation that you currently making?
The obligations up my head is 1.7 million.
How much did you pay that year? If you don't have, you can submit the.
Yeah, we can submit it.
Okay. So in 2019, how much did you raise?
2019, there was no revenue raised. So the company was still dependent on the opening bank balances moving forward.
You said $2 million?
Yes.
2020?
2020, I think we raised $137,000.
137. Are you sure about what you're talking?
Yes, I can provide information.
137K. I didn't meet your $2 million budget in 2020.
So the budget was just fixed on year to year $2 million because of the issue of revenue receipt. So $2 million was into 2018. We reduced that to 1.5 in the next year, and then reduction of moving through into current.
Okay, so that goes to say in 2018 your budget was not $2 million.
It was $2 million.
It was $2 million because you made $2 million, so you get a budget of $2 million.
Yeah, even though.
No, get this number.
Right.
If you say it was $2 million, you get a budget of $2 million.
Let me tell you. So also realization, the estimation that there will be revenue received from seismic.
Okay, so how much was the budget in 2019?
They provide the money. I don't have.
Because from what I'm hearing is that you adjusted your budget downward when you knew that there was no money.
Yes.
But when there was money, your budget was up to the level what you had.
Yes. You can come back with this number. So top of my head.
You said to us that you took over when you had challenges. And from the chairman, questions and inquiry to you told us that when you took over 2018, 2019, you have a balance of $2 million. And the other report is saying to us that you related some of the amount of $43,958 to NASCAR. So my concern is what led to not relating the remaining $37,000 when you had the total amount you needed to operate your budget?
The thing about it, the budget capped at $2 million. The balance sheet shows some liability of taxes. So what we did was, it's not just absorbing the whole $2 million as the bank balance show. Right? So most of the operating costs are not even net. But we were still making payments to government liability.
Good job. I just immediately statement you spoke about tax liability. Can you clarify tax liability as an institution, tax liability as a withholding agent? Can you just clarify quickly? I'm going to come to my own question. I just want to follow up on
Like the withholding taxes.
Yeah, so withholding taxes are not institutional. You pay me towards the institution. So I just wanted to make that clear, Mr. Chairman, that you cannot be considering tax liability in terms of a withholding agent towards the expenditure of the institution. Just to make that over-rotated.
Yes, so I continue with you. According to the Auditor General report, they said to us that you did not submit your procurement plan to the PBCC. which is by law should be submitted. I want to know, why was this not done in accordance with law?
To the PPCs. Every year we submit procurement plan to the PPCs.
If they do the audit, they do submission report to the auditors.
The issue that the auditor is raising is with a specific item within the procurement plan, and that was with the TECO. That's the issue they're raising, because when we took over LeTeco, we had to bring in LeTeco to have a discussion on us giving us services. We had a contract with LeTeco. Then that contract fell into the other year. So it's that they're flagging in their report. The second year, we had an issue with the contract with LeTeco. So that was the issue. It wasn't that we did not submit a procurement plan to the PPCs.
Thank you. Entity, what is the difference between board fees and city fees?
Thank you, Mr. Representative. Normally, when the board sits in the past, we pay city fees. Now, every quarter, we also pay the quarterly fees. But we note the auditor's recommendation that we can be paying 2 fees to the same person at a time.
So you didn't know that?
Sorry.
You didn't know that?
No, in the past it didn't happen. When the board sits, we pay a city fee. And then every quarter you pay the quarterly fees as board fees.
And lastly, before I came to the senator, in the issue about this asset issue, I've been told that from this report, some of the assets you acquire were not coded, and some were not physically displayed. Why?
The AG recommendation didn't mention physically displayed. It mentioned the register not being updated and the asset not being coded. We've done that adjustment already.
No, let me tell you. It comes here.
We can provide registration.
But it comes here by this report, it says fixed asset register were not coded. Updated and coded are two different things.
Yes.
Asset acquired were not physically displayed.
Well,
You know what I mean? The auditor is here.
Yeah, so those are the 3 questions, and I will do a follow-up.
Okay, the Reverend of Liberia, and okay, so we talk about statutory board members. We were not paying statutory board members. There was only non-statutory board members that were paid. They were given quarterly fees. Then the second question, the issue of the we. I'm talking about the administration of Anthony Safwa Maybury. That's why I'm speaking up when we say what we took over. The third question, I think that those are maybe you can. Yeah, when the auditors did the audit, they sent out a management letter. We responded to the management letters, and we took notice on issues that we needed corrective actions on, and we did provide them with information at times that were lacking and needed. So we have that management letter, and we're provided to be served.
You feel very strong about was
One thing we feel very strong about is that we recognize that we have tax liability obligation to the government of Liberia, and also NASCO. And we have written, we did not wait for those entities to write us. We wrote to those entities based on prior audit and the efforts that we are making to settle that. We have had numerous meetings, and we still have meetings with NASCO and the revenue authority as to our liabilities. So we are making payments, and we hope that with the improvement in the situation at NOCAL, we can make those liabilities. We feel very strong about that. We are obligated to that.
We have a commitment to doing that. That's why we were the ones that wrote those entities calling for meetings and telling them these are our liabilities, let's reconcile it, and we want to pay, and we have started paying already.
I'd like to draw this hearing to a close. And after that, I want to thank you, our witnesses from NOCAL. We raised a few issues with you, especially the issue of payment. You said payment plans, you said 2 weeks, so we look forward to that. And once we obtain that from you, we ensure that we schedule a meeting with the revenue authority. Because as I indicated, government is the idea of revenue to fund operations of government. There are too many things that have to be done, too much demand in government, and the revenue is not being raised as projected, as anticipated. So we too have to play our part to help government raise the needed revenue, so that the issues of development, the issue of services for our people, social services for our people can be adequately addressed. So again, thank you for coming, and we look forward to engaging you in committee. This time that will not be in the public, it will be public. The immediate issues will be addressed in committee. So also, AG, thank you also for your presentation and participation in these hearings. We look forward to continuously working with all of you. So we now request the signing and honor to discharge the witnesses from the car.
Thank you.
We want to thank you profoundly for your presence. We do look forward to continuing these hearings next Wednesday, and we want to extend again open invitation to all of you that are interested, so that together we can review these other reports as a way of making our contribution towards accountability, transparency in the public sector of our economy. So we want to say thank you, and we look forward to engaging you next week. Folks from the GSA, we appreciate your presence, and we look forward to engaging you next week. Thank you very much.
To kwebe to kwema kwe far away. Why banda o yanta? Why banda o yanta?